I'm an undergraduate student in economics, and at the moment I'm at the University of Cologne, and I'm thinking about now starting my master's. Some complications with the Wi-Fi in the
Yes.
actual exam, taking about 45 minutes to fix it. Proctor is saying, okay, if this doesn't work, you will have to pay the fee and you will have to take it another time, and this will be cancelled. Perfect, I would say, because my first attempt obviously was 640, which I was not happy with. And I had a pretty stiff deadline. I would say the error log was definitely important for me when it comes to finding the problems. And then whilst finding the problems, most of the times you saw what you did wrong, and then a lot of learning came from that, I think. And then just being very disciplined about all three of those steps, being prepared, knowing what you are good at, and then also understanding what you are not, is the most important part to help you excel.
Hey, Jonas, thank you so much for taking the time out today to do this interview with us. And congratulations on your 720. And what a 720 it has been, a 130-point improvement from your first full mock and an 80-point improvement from your first GMAT attempt, right? And I think a V41 from, V33, that's a tremendous, tremendous improvement. Congratulations to you on that.
Yeah, hey Rashmi, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Good talking to you again.
Yeah, same here. So today we are here to discuss your GMAT journey and how you made it to that 720 in your second attempt, and what are the kind of key learnings that you have that you could share it with the other GMAT aspirants out there so that they can also get inspired and take a leap out of your journey. So Jonas, before we start, it's been quite a journey, since you started preparing for the GMAT. Is there any key takeaway that you have out of the entire journey that you want to share with our viewers?
So for the entire journey, I would most definitely say practice makes perfect. Work hard pays off. If you put in the time and actually get to the basics of it, start with learning the rules, then start to applying them, and then actually going throughout step 3 in the e-GMAT, the test readiness. Just being very disciplined about all three of those steps. Being prepared, knowing what you are good at, and then also understanding what you are not, is the most important part to help you excel. Yeah, most definitely say.
That's really wonderful. I think what you just said is not just pertinent in case of GMAT, but with everything that we set out for ourselves in the life too, right? So thank you so much for that. So Jonas, can you give us a little tidbit about what you do, and where does GMAT fit into your future aspirations?
Yeah, so I'm an undergraduate student in economics, and at the moment I'm at the University of Cologne, and I'm thinking about now starting my master's as soon as I finish my bachelor's. And for that, to get into the best universities, you have to have a good GMAT. It's just mandatory at that point. If it is LSE, Bocconi, or if it is something like University of Mannheim that has a really good reputation for economics in Germany, and I think also in Europe in general, the e-GMAT is such an important part for the qualification and the application process that I was keen to excel and make a better case for myself in general to then get into a great master's program, which obviously helps throughout career in either academia or in the professional field.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure. So once you,
important part.
Yep. So once
No, go
you
ahead.
knew that, you have to appear for GMAT, how did you go about, sort of preparing for it, from zeroing on your target score to what is the kind of approach that you're going to take to prepare for GMAT?
So my first thought was that I thought I was quite quite good at verbal and quant, to be honest. I thought I had a good foundation coming in, but I really wanted to focus on just starting the journey right. So I actually got the official GMAT prep books for my first attempt. But unfortunately, I was working full time at the moment, so I wasn't able to spend as much time as I would like to. I started doing 1 hour before work, half an hour after work, and then spending the weekends with the books and with the official mock exam. That's what I did to see where would start. Then checking in actually on my first attempt already with the Sigma X mock exam. So the first is free, obviously. So I leveraged that, and then I can't remember exactly what the third one was, but I did pretty much 3 mock exams. One at the start, one pretty much in the middle, and then one at the end. And just to check in how I was doing, and I was learning all the concepts, but with the books, the review process of my preparation wasn't, well, perfect, I would say, because my first attempt obviously was 640, which I was not happy with. And I had a pretty stiff deadline because I pretty much heard about it first time November. And for the Stockholm School of Economics, the application deadline was mid-January. So I had about 2.5 months, considering Christmas and the festival days. It would take off about a week again. So I knew I pretty much had 2 months where I just focused with the books, learning throughout the books, using the Wiley platform, leveraging that as much as I was, well, allowed to due to my busy work schedule. So that was my first attempt, and well, it didn't turn out as great as I wanted to. So I was looking for other options. What did I falter on? What were the things that I think I could improve on? And having done the Sigma X on the e-GMAT, I was aware of e-GMAT as a preparation platform or preparation tool pretty much. And I started to look deeper into all kinds of, well, preparation websites, tools, whatever you would like to call them. And I narrowed down on the e-GMAT, I think, because of the testimonials on the one hand, which is obviously why I'm doing it right now, because I used it, so it's only fair to give back, right? And then secondly, I did the 7 days free trial, and I think that really just gave me more comfort in the decision to actually pursue the e-GMAT, especially given the time frame I had was about 2 months before the final deadlines arrived for the other master applications, for them I just mentioned, Bocconi, LSE, etc. So I narrowed down on the e-GMAT, then going throughout doing it first. I was doing another mock exam, singling out what were my weaknesses, what were my strengths, what did I have to work on, and then going throughout the course, first learning the concepts, second cementing, third doing the test readiness, and then just doing, I think I actually leveraged all 5 mocks if I'm correctly. So just using that as a check-in, and I prepared pretty much only using e-GMAT for my final 720 attempt.
Yeah, and that's a great improvement, you know. I think you scored a V42 in your first GMAT attempt. From there to a V41 is a tremendous jump. And I think as you were speaking, I can see the diligence with which you did the course. You know the terminology, the stage 1, the concepts, the cementing, the test readiness. So really, really kudos to you for having followed the course the way it's supposed to, right? And just congratulations again, you know. So tell
Thank you so
me,
much.
you took the first GMAT. Even before that, you had attempted a few mocks, and you mentioned during the call that you thought you were good in both quant and verbal, but clearly verbal wasn't, going the way you were expected. You wanted it to. So, what were the main challenges in verbal that made you feel that yes, here is where I have to focus most of my efforts on?
So focus most of my efforts on most definitely SC. I think it is for, at least from the people I've heard, sentence correction is a tough one for everyone. And I've been in America for an exchange program, and I thought my English was really good, and I actually still think it's quite good. But I was so used to the colloquial language that I wasn't aware of the exact rules. And even though the official guide or the official prep gave some insights, they weren't as actionable as the ones in e-GMAT. So for me, it was really SCCR that really stood out. In IC, I was all right throughout pretty much all my mocks. But just there to get to the next level was also just being disciplined in the process, knowing the process, how to attack such a question. How should I start? Should I read the whole thing and then take my time, or should I just briefly read it and then skim through? Yeah, so throughout all the mocks, I saw that SC and CR were the problems, but before e-GMAT, I wasn't exactly sure of how to improve to the extent that I did now. Yeah.
Got it. And how did that change? You said SE was one of your weaker areas. So, just if you could take us through that journey of, just turning your weakness into your strength. How was that?
Yeah, sure. So realizing it was my weakness, I knew I had to put the most work into it. Starting with the e-GMAT course, I actually did the whole method, the whole concept, learning the concept properly, going through it. At the time, I wasn't working full time anymore, so I was actually focused back on my studies. I had a little bit more time, so I could spend more time on the preparation and be extremely focused, and just had a different type of attention towards a different type of focus, because I hadn't had that much going on otherwise. It's except for uni, but obviously if it's not exam time, uni, you can relax at uni pretty much. So going throughout the concept of SC, I think the meaning-based approach is what really got me to the next level, apart from obviously knowing the grammar rules, which is still really important, to be honest. So first getting the hard concepts right, and then pretty much the soft concept, if you would like to call it that. So the meaning-based approach, I think that is what really stood out to me and got me to the next level and turned my weakness into a strength.
Yeah, I think yes. The so-called concepts, the rules get you only so far, right? Because that is where you generally get, tested in terms of medium difficulty questions. But the game changer in hard is that meaning, the focus on the meaning, and that's why SE is a part of GMAT as of now. Awesome. So I know that you've also used quite a bit of strategic review, error log in this whole endeavor to identify your weakness and just know where to focus on. So could you just take us through that, especially in terms of our SE?
Yeah, sure. So if we narrow down on SC, it was really starting with the semantic quiz pretty much. I was using the error log, really getting to the roots of why I took the wrong answer and why I canceled out the correct answer. really getting to the roots of it and really working throughout each wrong question or each right question that took too long or pretty much was guessed. Really, yeah. So getting to the roots of the problem obviously helped me see the problems, and then if you know the problem, you're most likely to fix it, right?
Yes.
So I would say the error log was definitely important for me when it comes to finding the problems. And then whilst finding the problems, most of the times you saw what you did wrong, and then a lot of learning came from that, I think, and that really took me to the next level, I would say, yes.
Yeah. Like there was this person who used to who told this beautiful thing wherein he mentioned that it's not how much you get out of the error log when you're reviewing it, but just the process of entering the error log that clarifies a lot of things. You know where the improvement is going to come from, and I hear that echo in what you just said. So awesome. And yes, SE done. You move to CR, your next big weak area. So how did you go about tackling that? Must not have been easy, knowing that yes, this is one of the areas that I'm not too comfortable with. So how did you tackle it?
Same concept. I went through the methods, meticulously, tried to understand every single word that was said in the videos, every word that was throughout the text, really getting to the bottom of what makes CR questions, understanding the concept of the questions, and then it was again going through cementing, using the error log, leveraging every single question that I got wrong as a learning opportunity rather than really, oh, I faltered. I could have done this, I could have done that. No, but really getting to the bottom of the question at heart and understanding why you faltered and why you exactly chose what you chose instead of the correct answer.
Yep.
That was, again, pretty much the same concept, the same learning applied to the different set of questions. Yeah.
Yeah. I think another thing that just stands out is, there is a reason why you make a mistake. You don't get a question wrong because just because you got it wrong. If you find out that meaning why you got it wrong, I think that's like half the battle won. Now you know what area to fix, right? So
Yeah.
great. Yes.
Yeah. I would definitely agree. And then it is not only why you chose the wrong answer, but also why you cancel out the correct answer.
Yes.
Because you pretty much have two immediate learnings out of them. Why did I cancel out the correct answer? You get one learning out of that. Okay, I thought that this and this wasn't supposed to work that way. Okay, but it does. Okay, we're learning one, and then the second learning being obviously, okay, I thought this works. It doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
There's a clear error in it. It's always, even though it's hard to see, there's always one correct answer, and
Yes.
it's not like it could be either that or that. No, it is
Yes.
only one. And
Yes.
then really understanding why that is. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Because I think GMAT is not ambiguous. There is clearly one right answer, not, maybe this is right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Awesome. So Jonas, I know that, you have awesome semantics quiz course. You really hit it out of park there and did the course the way it was intended to do. But when you took the mocks, there was that fluctuation in the scores when it came to verbal. Quant, of course, you didn't have too much time to prepare, so the focus was on verbal, considering that you were starting at 32. So can you take us through what was the reason for that fluctuation and how you went about fixing it through the test readiness bit of it?
Yeah. So I think after doing the pretty much step 1 and step 2, I did the first mock, so not having started test readiness yet. And it pretty much wasn't a big improvement at all.
Yes.
If it even was, I can't remember exactly, but it was really
a slight improvement. Yes, I
yeah,
think
so it was
35 or something. Yes, 35.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it was a slight improvement, but I noticed when I went through the strategic review
Mm-hmm.
of the mock actually that I knew all the concepts. I
Mm-hmm.
could have gotten it right, but I didn't understand why.
Mm-hmm.
So really looking at every single one, it was some form of combination of pressure and then also the time
Mm-hmm.
running down,
Mm-hmm.
which is a different form of pressure pretty much. So it was
Yes.
pretty much, I don't know, getting all the learnings that I got from the meticulously analyzed questions,
Mm-hmm.
turning that into a fast way
Mm-hmm.
of solving hard problems. I wasn't quite there yet, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
then this is what helped me pretty much, yeah, stage 3 test readiness.
Yes.
Um, really coming in throughout longer periods of time, studying
Mm-hmm.
only medium to hard questions, if not only hard questions, really helped me a lot. So I was doing a lot of these, well, it's not an official mock, but the 8 questions CR, 8 questions RC, 4 questions reading comprehension, just to get used to
Mm-hmm.
the time period to be
Mm-hmm.
extremely focused, narrow down on the problems, and be able to do only medium and hard questions, which obviously what you want to get
Yep.
in the 65 minutes, being extremely focused, and then also being able to take the 8 minutes off and recover pretty much. So I had the concepts, I had the application pretty much, but I wasn't able to translate that into
Mm-hmm. Yes.
longer periods of times. And I think that's what test readiness did for me.
Yes.
And then obviously, I think in the last two e-GMAT mocks, I got V42 and V43. So obviously, it really helped me, and that were the both questions or the both mock exams I took after preparing for test readiness.
Very true, because before that, what happens is individually you have great ability. Like you have a great ability in SC, CR, RC, but to bring it together, what you rightly said, one, what you require is to be able to manage your time well. Two, to sit through that much time. You need to have that stamina to sit through this, 65 minutes. Third, to be able to navigate between different question types. How to mentally switch from, say, an SC question to a CR or then to an RC question, right? And that is where test readiness really puts it all together into a nice little blend. And yes, the proof was in you being able to score a 710 in your next mock, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so it's really good. But I do also know that, while the mock after the test readiness went really good, you got a 710. The expectation was in the next mock that you take, the score will go higher, but then it dropped, right? So what was your first reaction to seeing a not so good score on the mock with the test like 2 days in?
Yeah. So to give some perspective, I did one mock on Sunday, worked Monday, did a mock on Tuesday, and then had
Mm-hmm.
the actual GMAT on Thursday. And having done the 710, I was really happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that there was still a lot of things I could do, especially in quant, because quant obviously wasn't that strong at all. But I pretty much took the time off, just doing a strategic review, but then not
Mm-hmm.
doing anything else on Sunday, working Monday, and then Tuesday. I was thinking about doing a mobile. I wasn't 100% sure
Mm-hmm.
if I would, but then after consulting with you, I obviously did. Seeing that quant actually got worse. So verbal got 1 point better, but quant got worse. And then I did a meticulous review of quant.
Uh-huh.
I think we actually talked again. I'm not 100% sure. And you pointed out with the obviously mock exam and the analysis of the mock exam we did together that there are two things that I'm all right at, and then two things that I'm terrible at that I really have to work on. And I just spent 2 days learning all the concepts, just putting in hard work, being meticulous in the process, being really disciplined about how do I attack these questions, and then learning it was algebra and geometry, if I'm correct. Yes. So algebra and geometry. Yeah, just putting in the work, learning concepts, testing, a lot of testing, trying to get throughout the concepts actually again, because as you said, I didn't have pretty much any time for quant. So it gave me about 1.5 weeks or something. Because my first score was pretty all right. So yeah, going through the concepts actually helped me again, just getting it again and again and again and again. And then obviously translating the concept into the questions to the applicability throughout the testing, which I did, a lot in these 2 days, really helped me excel in the actual exam. And also, as I think, Rashmi, I told you in the first ever call we had, I thrive under pressure. And having not the perfect start to my exam, I was able to put all that pressure on my shoulders and actually excel and do exactly what I knew I had to do. And I came through.
Yeah. And yes, I think we need to talk about that. When you mentioned that you thrive under pressure, and yes, GMAT is a high pressure kind of a test. So how do you make yourself do that? Because I'm sure it must not have been easy to see that 680 go with that kind of a mock score, considering the kind of target that you had in mind. So that might have sort of affected you in some way, that okay, my last mock score wasn't so good, so that there was that. Then there was the added pressure of wanting to do well in the test. So how did you manage that? And can you give us more insight into how do you actually thrive under that kind of pressure?
Yeah, surely. So first of all, I think the 680 mock, pretty much, I used it as a tool to know where to focus on in the last 2 days, but I didn't think about it as, oh, this is terrible. It can affect me. This is so bad. I have to go 40 plus points to where I want to be. I just used it as what it is, as a tool to know where I had to improve and what I had to focus on. But I didn't, spend any time worrying that it's too low and that it's going to impact whatever it is going to. So I pretty much just used it as a tool and took it for what it is. And then not having the perfect start and being under high pressure in the testing environment. I'm not sure if there's a clear learning that I can share here, because it's just I work better under pressure. I need some pressure in my life, otherwise I collapse. I don't know. I need some pressure, and if even now that I'm quite relaxed, I still find some opportunities to put extra pressure on me, because otherwise I just don't work. It's just the way I work, so I can't give a clear learning. But since I hadn't had the perfect start, I had some complications with the Wi-Fi in the actual exam, taking about 45 minutes to fix it. Wasn't
You had to
perfect.
go from room to room, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was, that actually got to my nerves. And I would say I have pretty strong nerves, but taking 45 minutes, then the proctor is saying, okay, if this doesn't work, you will have to pay the fee and you will have to take it another time, and this will be cancelled. And I obviously didn't want that to happen. So it was quite nerve intense, but I actually did something that I learned from, I would say, Andrew Huberman. It's I just took the time, then this test started. Everything worked out perfectly fine, obviously, but I did some breath work, just try to calm myself down. After the high stress environment I just was in, and then I have to get back into it. But having the time that you can read throughout the what you have to do, what are your guidelines that you have to stay in, and then just using that time to try to calm myself down and then get back into the focus mode and really just take a step back, look at the situation, what it is, and then try to excel. Yeah. So that's the best way I can put it.
Yes, take a step back. Everything can be managed and will be managed. Just go with that positive mindset and just give it your all, right?
Yeah, most
And
definitely.
I think one other thing that you mentioned during this conversation is you took the mock as a mock. You take mocks to understand where you're at, where you need to improve from there, right? You did not take it as, oh, this is where I am at. There is more of, okay, this is what it is. This is what I need to do to improve, and take it as that point and not let it disturb your mindset while going to the test, right? That is why it's a mock and not the actual test. So
Exactly.
this really interesting, great journey, two attempts, one not so good, one really got you to that score that will get you into the school that you want to. So congratulations again. And just if you could share, some tips that could help the other GMAT aspirants out there to get to their dream scores, what would they be?
Yeah, first of all, thank you again. I really do appreciate it, and I really do appreciate you reaching out for the strategy consultant calls all the time, really helping me with the meticulous analysis. 3 actionable tips. So for everyone who's a GMAT student or who's thinking about being a GMAT student, it is follow the 3 steps. It actually does work. Even though I was not 100% certain when I started, I can say it is the best way to go through it. Don't try to skip anything. Actually work through it properly. If you have good understandings of concept, the course will adapt and you will be able to skip it. Just work through it as it tells you to. It actually does work. Go through each step, each process. First of all, the methods, then the cementing, then the test readiness, and don't be disappointed by the results you get in the middle of something. As I just said, I had not that great mock after stage 1 and 2, but actually where you do the big step is in step 3, but you won't be able to do step 3 if step 1 and 2 weren't done correctly. So that is one. Then second, I would say the strategic review, it has to be in there. It's somewhat part of the first tip. The strategic review, we talked about it quite a lot. Actually understanding what exactly you did wrong, why you did it wrong. Even as you said, refilling out the error log gives you most of the learnings. Not looking at but actually thinking about the whole process, thinking about the question, understanding the question again, understanding where you faulted, why you faulted, really helps just deepen the concepts and the knowledge that you need in the actual test. And then tip 3, that would be actionable. Be disciplined. Work hard, it pays off. More for life than for the GMAT, but definitely applicable to the GMAT. Put in the work, it pays off 100% wherever you start. I think it's 100% worth it. If you want to get into a business school or anything along the lines, the GMAT is an important test, and I think it is worth noting that it does take time wherever you start.
That's true. But result comes to the person who perseveres and works towards that goal, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you, Jonas, so much for taking the time out today, and congratulations again. And I hope you get into that dream school that you're looking to get into. And yes, keep us posted. And thank you so much.
Will do so. Perfect. Thank you.